Well, welcome to my video. I'm Jennifer Roberts and you're catching me at True Divine 44. You can get me on my other socials by looking in the description box, and I do hope you go and do that. Any likes, shares, subscribes and follows really are appreciated. Today I've had a bit of a funny day in that, not funny, but you know, the energies are, when you have those numb energies, in that a very dear person has transitioned over, and although I know the message and the truth of the infinite, and can already feel that spirit, there is this grieving process of the ability to have the same relations in the physical as you did in the physical. And so there's that sort of grieving process for me, more than grieving the entire person, because I know that not to be true. The process of the things that you feel were left undone, and whatever unfairness is perceived. So yeah, to a very dear and beautiful man who inspired everybody that had the pleasure to come into contact with him. Very much so. And if he left us with anything, he left us with the lessons and message to, no matter what adversity you feel or you're facing, you don't take it out on others, and you face it with bravery and a smile. And that's exactly what he taught by example. So this is the reading for the forgotten 18th of January 2021, and it will be probably set on a premiere, so if it is, I'll see you there. But take what resonates, leave what does not, and I appreciate any comments, and I will get back to the comments that have been left on other videos. It's just been a bit of a hectic time, so yeah, I really do appreciate the discussion there, getting to know each other there, because if we don't use this voice, we lose it, and that is the attack that is going on right now. So if we do not use this voice to be in connection, to share views and perceptions and learn from one another, then in fact it is something that we will lose. I really do feel that there is a energy, a rolling plan that even they don't know they're going to, but I can see it, that they're literally wanting to switch off senses that we have had for however long, and transition into something that is very new and very different, and very much not right for the human experience. So use your senses, don't lose them. They are like muscles, you know, you train them, and if you're not using them, then they go into a stagnant energy where, you know, they start to shrivel. And so, you know, the same way that you teach your child to talk, you want to teach them all of the words you can possibly think of, so that they have a huge variety of words to use in their dialogue, to make their points, to fight their corner, to express their emotions, and so on and so forth. And we seem to be devolving and allowing the few to devolve us into a space of very limited speech, very limited thought, very fixed thought patterns, actions and speech patterns. And so I'm fighting against that. I do not consent to it, and I will use this voice. I refuse to lose it. So for the forgotten again, 18th of January 2021, let's see. So on the bottom of the deck, we have the Knight of Swords, but in reverse, a very narcissistic energy, very much trying to manipulate and play with situations. So this could resonate with you in your personal life, because it would be the predominant energies that I'm picking up on for the day. Or it might be that you're very much seeing this on the collective stage play out, in that you think narcissism has reached a point of, you know, it's reached its precipice, it's reached its heights. And these energies come out within many people, where you think, oh wow, that's what we're dealing with here. So that kind of energy being played out very much so on the collective stage. If it is for your individual life, this is an energy to absolutely, completely and utterly work towards removing yourself from, particularly if you've been in the threat of or in a domestically violent relationship. And yes, that does count for words, and it does count for males and females, you know, for some reason the energies are rife today for that to ramp up to the next level. And from what I can feel and see in these energies here, this is already at a level that was untenable and unsafe. And so it's this, you can see the sword is half out of view here at the bottom here, would be in the upright, but it's half out of view and it's in a black sky. So that it's very convoluted, very manipulative. If you think of the Ace of Swords as clarity, purpose, a full knowing of yourself and the situation at hand, then you see this sword that is coming in real thick and fast in the dark night. So it's already obscured. It's already hard to see which direction it's coming from or which direction it's going to go in. And the half of that sword, so it's half truths being dropped. Now on the collective stage, you can see that on the UK, absolutely another drop of many half-truths to try and lessen the anger, to try and stop that civil rising against the draconian powers that be, and the rules that they set for them and not for us. And so you can imagine there is going to be much more, you know, drops that you think it's happening. You need to be pushing past the distraction that's being caused by this person on the collective stage, but also in your individual life, and asking yourself and whoever else involved the right questions, holding them to account with the right questions, very much less about the answer as to getting the right question out there that will really start to knock on people's consciousness to say, oh, well, that doesn't make sense. If you're saying you did it for this reason, but then you were doing this for this reason, then actually that doesn't make sense. And so often it is getting somebody to answer the right question that is the key. And so, or the inability to answer that right question is very much more potent, even more potent for the energies of today. And so being very wise about your words, being very wise about the equation of your sentence, how you're wording things, leaving very little room for interpretation. Very much so, a lot of pendulum-like questions, yes, no type, you know, that could be the only answer. And then it can build from there as to people sort of starting to question the reality that they've been buying into. And so on the bottom of the other deck, the clarifying deck, we have the beautiful Queen of Cups, compassionate, intuitive, beautiful energy. But oh my goodness, this divine feminine energy is so hurt and feels so broken, and has such a natural, strong intuition, but by the hands of people like this, around this energy of this Queen of Cups, so sad to see, feel such a brokenness. And even more cruel that whoever this resonates with, whoever this belongs to, that they know they have a strong sense of intuition. They in fact have not been fools. They've seen what's happening. It's like that quiet voice I can hear in the back of somebody's mind saying, this isn't right, this isn't good, this is dangerous, this is unfair, this is dishonorable, and external circumstances feeling so trapping that, you know, you dampen that voice down. And that in a way is sometimes even more cruel when you know what's happening to you is wrong, but the external forces are too strong for you to think you can get out of it. So then you have to put up with the ramifications of what you know is wrong. And so that's a very intense feeling. Now, on a collective stage, you can see, especially in the UK right now with Borisgate, Partygate and whatnot, you can see that there are many people feeling this energy of all sides, all people who've taken different sides, different different, be stood at different goalposts, you know, are united in the fact of this isn't right, there's something amiss here. And so, because people who were all for lockdown, keep us safe, you know, they're angry because they are actually saying, you know, well, you were putting us at risk medically. I know, it is what it is. But, you know, then there's other people saying, well, we knew all of those rules weren't right, and you knew they weren't right because now you've proved it by your actions. And so actually there is opportunity to unite in a way from very different sides of the field. But at the same time, the right questions aren't being asked within those very different sides of the right field. So there is this attack on the divine feminine within the males and the females in the UK in particular, where the divine feminine, who has been intuitive about what has been going on, that has been guided by intuition, but guided by psychic abilities, guided by being able to be compassionate towards others and see the pain of others due to these draconian rules that have come down the line from government. You can see that they are that divine feminine is genuinely hurt. It has been a domestically abusive situation, and so there is a lot of pain here, a lot of confusion, a lot of upset, and it would be wise of those who are feeling this to again honor that divine feminine within, and gauge when to set out that divine masculine lion into action through intuition. And so looking back at times when your intuition, either in your personal life or on a collective scale, you know, when your intuition has been telling you to stand up, say something, or walk out, leave, or get away from this person, or don't get away from this person, stick with this one, that one, all of those different times that that voice has been ignored, give reverence to your divine feminine now in order to stand up, to be truly guided in a divine timed way, to let out that divine masculine lion. And so it really is difficult energies. And so we see here for the first card the 5 of Wands, and so you can see here this is like it's a distraction. It's like a causing a kerfuffle over on this side, while while others who are clever enough to do so, or sneaky enough to do so, snide enough to do so, get along with their plans regardless, while distraction and upset is happening over here that is sort of loosely tied to the person, but actually so loosely tied, but tied enough to make them feel like they're getting somewhere, while that very same person or very same persons or very same system goes along and creates the next order out of chaos, you know. And this is ensued chaos today, particularly in the UK. There's some energies there in Australia that will not be televised, but local people really getting into like a sort of real conflict, a real brawl. And again, it would be police against people when, you know, maybe the middleman, middlewoman is a little bit of a distraction. It needs to go around and into buildings. So this is where we see the 7 of Cups come out to clarify this 5 of Wands. And so again, this is much emotional confusion. Where do we put our energy? How do we pull the most out of this? How do we extract what we want out of this project or this ideal or whatever this emotional attachment is to this? And there's a lot of like, I wonder what to do, which direction to go in, and the emotions a little bit all over the place in order to decide what to decide upon. Again, the distraction isn't helping here. The distraction is actually creating more options, and those options actually aren't great because there's too many of them right now, when it's about zeroing pointing in to the actual target, and really then releasing full force everything that you have to go towards your target, whatever that target might be. And so the Justice card, major arcana, right in the middle here, this beautiful lady, justice energy. She has her scales, she has her sword of clarity, she has her enlightened halo, and she has her legs crossed there, in that she's seeing both directions, very much grounded, but also as above so below, very tall. And so this is about learning how your inner scales actually bring in the justice. And it's very little to do with outside distractions ever. And so for take example, this relationship thing that I picked up on here, and this hurt and this pain, it actually would be for this energy here, whoever this resonates with among you, to actually look within self and say, so where are my skills so off kilter? Where are my skills so unpolished that I would accept this type of lesson being brought into my life, that I would accept this type of person, this type of behavior being brought into my life? What have my reactions been to this kind of lesson that's kept coming up for me that is difficult, and why is there something within me finding that acceptable? Because there has to be a space within you that slither even. That's why with narcissists, you don't leave a door open, you don't leave a window open, you put a door thing under the door, you know, a door draft collector, you know, under the door, you know, put sealant on your windows. You don't let them in, because a narcissist just needs a little crack, a little creak of something within you that feels like you deserve what they want to do to you or give to you as a lesson. And so it's about really closing down those slithers, those creaks, those cracks, that these energies feel that they've got an invitation. That is all the invitation they need. It is like, you know, the vampire story. It's very much more little to do about inviting them into your home, but as a lesson within those ancient stories, it is this being your home, this being your housing, and what within you or your consciousness would give them a slither of an invitation to be dominant over you, to feed from you energetically and physically. And so that is the real lesson of justice. And so again, it's so important for those who understand everything that I've just said to really do this today, because and all days, because the 10 of Pentacles, fantastic energies, clarifies this justice card. And so for those who really understand this lesson, really can grasp what I'm saying, I would say beyond the distractions, which takes some strength, I'll tell you, it's not easy. You know, if they can really grasp this, then, you know, the world is your oyster. This is your 10 of Pentacles, your abundance, your alignment, your end to a very difficult cycle, and your reclaiming, not just of the car, the home, all those lovely, yes, and yes, important for the way that we live things, but actually deeper than that, regaining your bodily territory, regaining your ground within self, regaining your divinity and sovereignty on such a deep level that words do not meet the explanation of it, in this knowing of self, in this wealth of who you are, of what you are manifesting as within this physical experience, and all of the other layers of you beyond this physical experience, what they are and who they represent, how you are represented, how you're representative of self. It really deep inheritance here, really deep inheritance that then will be manifested in this physical realm also, that actually money-wise, you don't actually need to put out the I want payback from this person and I want them to pay it back and I want them to suffer. Well, that would say there's still that slither of invitation within self that actually is still corded, still chained to whatever this person did to you and whoever this person is. The justice card really works when you're able to release yourself from those burdens and say, I just claim from the universe the energies that reflect my inner skills now, after lessons learned, after appreciation of the experience, regardless of what that experience was. I just claim it in. I do not put any limitations on it. I don't even put labels on it as to where it comes from. I do not really mind, as long as it comes to me in a whole and beautiful manner. You don't even have to say that. Just no limitations, no restrictions, because the universe and the universal energies and the way that they reflect one another. So you being in a mirror, projecting out to the mirrors all around you, you would say that, you know, putting a limitation on it is, humans obviously do a lot. It's like saying, yeah, there's the whole entire inner cosmos within me that is reflected in this whole entire cosmos around me, and but I claim it from that direction, from that way, from that person, and that way you limit it, because you don't know what that person's directed into their life. They might be attracting in absolute and utter lack into their life. They may, you know, be absolutely in knowing, narcissist or not, good or bad in your view or not, they may be absolutely in knowing of the lesson that I've just given about Lady Justice, in that they might know that if they feel no guilt, if they give you no slither of an opening, that they can actually claim back from anywhere, any source, anything, and they'll be successful at it. So again, justice is not about the good or bad. It's not about evil versus virtuous. It's not about anything to do with that and these labels and limitations that our language has put upon that. It's about what is reflecting within you and what is reflecting on the outside of you. You know, so we really are teaching ourselves all the time, and that we're calling in whatever we're calling in, one way or the other. And sometimes it's really tough to find out how we're calling something in, because again, these good energies are doing what they do. As for bad, you know, only need a slither, only need a little slice of your consciousness to hook in. 2 seconds, I just need to turn the oven off before the smoke alarm goes off. That was a close one. So I thought this would be quicker. So where was I? Justice, lessons learned. Yeah, if you want to understand it. If you do, then boom, massive amounts of wealth and abundance. So and that would be claimed in without limitation. So the Knight of Staffs comes rolling in, Knight of Wands comes rolling in. Hey, baby boy. So this would be this very pleasing energy, very fast moving, not as fast paced as the Knight of Swords, but, you know, very fast moving, very fast paced energy, people pleasing. And so there is support to do this. There is messages coming forward in support of the real answers to the right questions, so to speak. This is a happier energy and a fully charged energy, going where it's led to go to. Expect messages to come in today regarding, for those who've understood justice, even if that's just subconsciously and it's a happy accident, and you find abundance or decisions for your abundance coming your way, that would be the message of the day. So leave a comment if that is you. Now, the Two of Wands speaks of, to clarify this Knight of Wands, again, fire. It speaks of all of a sudden, you know, you realize with these lessons learned, for those that are resonating with this reading today, all of a sudden this world doesn't seem so unconquerable. It doesn't seem so limited. It actually doesn't seem so terrible to be a part of. It's actually a contemplation of being able to, through these lessons learned that have been spoken about, being able to see yourself on other horizons, being able to travel more, being able to make plans, being able to go around mountains, because after all, he's holding the world in his hands. This is making plans. This is the next stage of plans. This is the next stage of initiation. The Three of Wands being action being taken. This is, you know, contemplation. It speaks very much so if you are in the shipping business. There are niches right now in the shipping business going back to steam. That I know that sounds ludicrous, but that is something that's coming through real strong for me. Really going back to steam with even better technology than we had beforehand. When my great uncle initiated many of the steam trains around the world, Sir James Knott, there's something about that that's kept coming through for me that is very much part of the niche market for you to get into if you are in the shipping business, the fishery business, if that's the word, fishery. Are you a fishery? So yeah, if that's you, then take note of that. It might not be that you are a sailor. Those sailors are usually hot as hell, brutal things that they face, and it shows. So yeah, if you're not a sailor, but you are dealing very much so with shipping, with like dispatching, that kind of thing, then some kind of partnership with people who would then initiate ships on the actual water, that would be interested in steam, would be a very, very lucrative and futuristic, coming from the past, but futuristic thing for you to get into in a very good and timely way. So yeah, I do. Hi again. I'll be putting your dinner out soon, okay?
I know, so it's all right.
Yeah, it is. I've just caught it in time.
I'm just gonna wait for a little while.
Okay, baby.
Yeah, like such close.
All right. Yes, come up here then. So it's Theodore. It's Theo. So yeah, that would be very, very lucrative. What else? There's something about painting coming through, either a very old painting being found or being restored. I don't know where that's just come from, but that'll lead to some interesting revelations, so to speak. Yeah, that's the reading for the 18th of January 2021. I appreciate you all being here and listening, leaving a comment, liking and sharing, and of course subscribing. That is much appreciated. Check out Divinity on Facebook, check out my Etsy page, True Divine 44, and True Divine 44 on Facebook and various other places for product services. I appreciate that also too, more than you know. Thank you to Robert, my dear friend. I appreciate you. I've kept missing your call, but I'll get in touch with you ASAP. And just send love to my friend's wife and his children, his mom, his stepdad, and you know, his brother and sister. It's just you know, the real tough time. If you feel you can help them with the funeral cost, because he was a very young man, gone well before his time, you can go and find that on my Facebook page also, or GoFundMe. I just want to alleviate some of the cost of the funeral arrangements for his family. And so if you can do that, great. If not, just share the post, it helps. And you know, he'll be painting the cosmos with these beautiful colors as we speak. Much love, balance and wholeness. Mwah.